Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023, and I am here to talk to you guys about tonight's 12-game slate that we have in the NBA. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then go ahead and hit subscribe. That will let you know when the newest podcast has gone live. Actually, the alarm bell is what you'll hit for that. That'll let you know when the newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us at dfscoachtalk.com. We have memberships for as low as $9 a week, so we would love to have you. We have a very family-friendly environment, no negativity and toxicity. We always are encouraging and positive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this NBA slate. It's 12 games. I'm going to try and give you guys my top 1 to 2 plays from each game. Not going to go as in-depth as normal because of all the games. So first game, we have the Phoenix Suns at the Cleveland Cavaliers. My top plays from this game, Darius Garland was ruled out. So Donovan Mitchell, he's coming off an unbelievable game on Monday. He had 71 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists for 102.5 DraftKings points. So I definitely expect some regression, but with Garland out, I still think he's a decent play. He's 9,600 on both DraftKings and FanDuel, $40 on Yahoo. I think he can still get 65 to 70 fantasy points and go over that 5x 6x mark that we're looking for. I do like Karis LeVert with Garland out. He's 5,500 on DraftKings. He's 6,500 on FanDuel, so I may not get him over there. And then $22 on Yahoo. Don't really have anybody from the Suns that I like, so I'm just going to move on to the next game. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Orlando Magic. For this game, my top plays are going to be from the Thunder. Jalen Williams, he's been playing really well. He's 5,000 on DraftKings, 5,700 on FanDuel, $16 on Yahoo. Orlando's allowed the 8th most fantasy points to small forward, so I do like Jalen Williams. Don't really like anybody from the Magic, so we'll move on to the third game. We have the Indiana Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers. The big news we got here for this game was that Joel Embiid will be out. So James Harden is definitely in play. He's 9,800 on DraftKings, 10-3 on FanDuel, $43 on Yahoo. Not really anyone that stands out for me on the Indiana side. So we'll move on to the next game, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Charlotte Hornets. My favorite play from this game is going to be Steven Adams. He's 5,400 on DraftKings, 6,800 on FanDuel, $24 on Yahoo. Charlotte's allowed the most fantasy points to centers, and he has averaged 46.8 DraftKings points his last 2 games against Charlotte. He had 51.3 and 42.3 DraftKings points. So Steven Adams is in a really good spot. I like him a lot today in this matchup. The next game, we have the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. My favorite play on the Knicks is going to be Julius Randle. He's 10-5 on DraftKings, 9,900 on FanDuel, $43 on Yahoo. San Antonio has allowed the 2nd most fantasy points to power forwards this year. He has 69.8 DraftKings points last time he played against San Antonio on Thursday, and he scored no less than 58 DraftKings points in his last 6 games. So Julius Randle's really been playing well. It's a really good matchup for him. And like I said, he just faced this team last Thursday, and he had 69.8 DraftKings points. So I really like Julius Randle. I also like Quentin Grimes with RJ Barrett out. He's 5,800 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel, $17 on Yahoo. I'm not quite as high on Emmanuel Quickly with Jalen Brunson back in the lineup, but I guess you could probably take a look at him as well. Let me see if we have any questions so far in the chat. All right. Don't see any questions so far. The next game, we have the Milwaukee Bucks at the Toronto Raptors. My favorite plays from this game, not really seeing anybody on the Toronto side that I like. Looks like they're going to have their full starting lineup in place and not really any key injuries that we could get some value from here. So I'm looking to fade Toronto for the most part. I do like Giannis with Drew Holiday out, which he is out tonight. He has scored 81 and 84 DraftKings points the last 2 times that Holiday was out of the lineup. He had a career high game last night with 55 points against Washington. I don't know if anyone saw that game, but it was an incredible performance by Giannis. So I do like him. Toronto's been pretty good against power forwards. They've allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points to the position. But, without Holiday, I just think that this is a really good spot for Giannis. He's scored 60-plus fantasy points in 4 of his last 6 games against Toronto. So he's really not been that slowed down by the matchup of the recent performances against the Raptors. The next game, we have the Houston Rockets and the New Orleans Pelicans. For me in this game, I don't really have anybody on the Houston side that I like. I do like on the Pelicans a couple players. You've got CJ McCollum. He's 8,200 on DraftKings, 8,600 on FanDuel, $34 on Yahoo. Houston's allowed the most fantasy points to point guards this year, and both Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram are out. So CJ McCollum will probably be asked to do the majority of the scoring tonight. I like Najee Marshall a little bit. He's 4,800 on DraftKings, 4,900 on FanDuel, $14 on Yahoo. The Rockets have allowed the 5th most fantasy points to small forwards. And you could also look at Jackson Hayes. He's been getting some playing time with Zion out of the lineup. He's 3,700 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel, and $10 on Yahoo. Next game, the Portland Trailblazers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like on the Blazers, I like Jeremy Grant. He's 7,500 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel, $29 on Yahoo. The Timberwolves have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to power forwards this year, so it's a good matchup for him. He's been playing really well of late. And then with Nurkic questionable, if he's out, I do like Drew Eubanks. He had a really nice game the other day against the Pistons. He's 4,100 on DraftKings. He's 5,300 on FanDuel, so I don't think that you have to go to him over on FanDuel. But at 4,100 on DraftKings and 13 on Yahoo, I do think he is a good play as a little bit of a value. For the Timberwolves, the only plays I'm really looking at are at power forward. Kyle Anderson is 5,400 on DraftKings, 5,600 on FanDuel, $19 on Yahoo, and also Jaden McDaniels, 5,300 on DraftKings, 5,700 on FanDuel, and $17 on Yahoo. Naz Reid is questionable, so if he's out, I think you could probably go to one or both of these guys. If he plays, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to either one of them, but if he's out, they're definitely worth a look. The next game, we have the Detroit Pistons and the Golden State Warriors. There's not really anybody on Detroit that I really like that much. I do like basically the new big 3 for Golden State, though. Jordan Poole, 8,300 on DraftKings, 8,400 on FanDuel, $33 on Yahoo. Detroit's allowed the 6th most fantasy points to point guards this year, so it's a good matchup for Poole. They've allowed the most fantasy points to shooting guards, so obviously Klay Thompson is in play here too. He's 7,600 on DraftKings, 7,900 on FanDuel, and $29 on Yahoo. And then I also like Draymond. He's 6,500 on DraftKings, 6,400 on FanDuel, and $25 on Yahoo. So while Steph Curry and Wiggins, those guys are out, those 3, Poole, Klay, and Draymond would be the ones that I like for the Golden State side. All right, next game, we have the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers. For me in this game, you have AD, you have LeBron, you have Lonnie Walker out. So the 2 guys that I'm primarily looking at on the Lakers side, you've got Russell Westbrook. He's 7,600 on DraftKings, 7,800 on FanDuel, $27 on Yahoo. And Austin Reeves, 4,300 on DraftKings, 4,700 on FanDuel, and $12 on Yahoo. So those are the 2 main guys from the Lakers that, should probably do a pretty good amount of the scoring. For the Miami Heat, I like Jimmy Butler. He's 9,000 on DraftKings, 9,100 on FanDuel, $37 on Yahoo. The Lakers have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to small forwards this year. And with LeBron out, their defense is even less so. Tough to go against. So I do like this matchup a lot for Butler tonight. And then Tyler Hero, the Lakers have allowed the second most fantasy points to guards. So he's 8,900 on DraftKings, so he's a little pricey over there. 7,900 though on FanDuel, not bad at all. And then $33 on Yahoo. And then we have the last game of the night. Like I said, I was going to go through this thing real quick. So the last game of the night, we have the Atlanta Hawks and the Sacramento Kings. For the Hawks, my top play would be Bogdan Bogdanovic. He's 5,900 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel, and $23 on Yahoo. And then on the Sacramento side, we've been playing him quite a bit lately, but it's Domantas Sabonis. He's 10-4 on DraftKings, 10-1 on FanDuel, $43 on Yahoo. Atlanta's allowed the sixth most fantasy points to power forwards, the seventh most to centers. And as you know, Clint Capella is out. So I do think this is a favorable matchup for Sabonis. Before we look at the PrizePicks plays, does anybody have any questions that they would like to have me answer? Brooklyn versus Chicago. Yes, I somehow went past that. Let me see. Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls. There we go. Yeah, in that game, I like Kevin Durant. 10,000 on DraftKings, 10,400 on FanDuel, $46 on Yahoo. The Bulls have allowed the most fantasy points to power forwards. Giannis just had a huge, 84-point fantasy point game against them the other day. So I do like Durant. Make sure I didn't miss any other games. I know I went through that real quick, but I think I hit them all besides that. Yeah, we got them all. All right, so Harden a must play? No, I mean, it's a 12-game slate. You've got a lot of pay-up options. I don't think he's a must play. I think that he's a good play. I mean, I think I would probably have him in maybe 40 to 50% of my lineups at a minimum, but I don't think he's a must play. I don't really know that there's a must play on the slate. Maybe, one of Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Harden, Sabonis, and Randall would probably be my top pay up guys. So I would at least have one of those in my lineups, and you can probably get two if you get to the right middle tier and value plays. But there's not a ton of value on this slate from what I can see so far. So that's a little disappointing. Hopefully there will be more value to open up. Let me go ahead and check some ownership projections real quick just to see kind of how things are looking. All right, so the value plays looks like that most people are on right now are Wenyen Gabriel, which I'm not feeling too great about that one. Paul Reed, though, I think that's a decent play with him beat out. He's 3,000 on DraftKings. He is on FanDuel. He is 4,100. And then on Yahoo, I'm guessing he's probably $10, but I'll just check real quick here. Yeah, he's $10. So Paul Reed would be a value play that you could look at. Steven Adams is actually the highest projected owned player right now. So that's pretty interesting. A lot of people are on Wendell Carter. I saw somebody mention that. Let's see who else. The highest owned pay up guys right now are Harden and Giannis. Morant's up there. Durant. Don't really see a lot of people on Julius Randle or Sabonis. So if you're going in tournaments, I think those two, Randle and Sabonis, you can play them together. And I think that might be a way to go in tournaments. Do I think the Lakers will get blown out? Yeah, I think they probably will. I mean, right now their starting lineup is Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverley, Austin Reeves, Troy Brown, and Thomas Bryant. So, and of course, Westbrook comes off the bench, but I don't know that they can compete with the Miami Heat tonight. Halliburton, I mean, the Sixers are pretty good against guards, so that's the main reason that I'm not as high on Halliburton tonight. they are allowing the fewest fantasy points to point guards. So, yeah, I'm not really on Halliburton. If there's anyone else here that stands out on ownership, Jalen McDaniels of the Hornets is getting quite a bit of ownership with Gordon Hayward out. Cole Anthony, who I wasn't really on, getting quite a bit of ownership from Orlando. Jalen Brunson's the second highest projected owned player right now. That's pretty interesting. Nothing else too crazy, though. All right. Well, that is a quick look at the ownership. We looked at the main plays that I like. Not really any major fades, I would think, for me on this slate. Maybe Ja Morant. Looks like he's getting quite a bit of ownership. Charlotte's done a really good job against him, so he might be my fade. And then, like I said, my top plays, Harden, Giannis, Sabonis, Randall. Those would be my top pay-up options. And then, the value, you're just going to kind of have to find it sporadically. If Nurkic is out, that's one value play I like. With Embiid out, I think Paul Reed is a good value play. For PrizePicks, my top plays on PrizePicks are Giannis, more than 59.5 fantasy score. As I mentioned, he has been getting like 80 lately without Holiday in the lineup, and Holiday's out tonight. And then Randall, who scored 60 in 4 of his last 6. He scored 60 fantasy points. I'm going with the more than 49.5 fantasy score for him. So those two, Giannis and Randall, their fantasy score, I like more than on those. Schroeder. Schroeder is against Miami, and they have allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points to point guards. So, yeah, I'm not as high on Schroeder. And I do think there is some blowout potential here too. Miami's favored by 8.5. I think they should probably be favored by at least 10, but that's just my opinion. So once again, if you haven't joined us, you can join us at dfscoachtalk.com. We have memberships that start as low as $9 a week. I will be posting lineups in our Discord in about 20 minutes. So I hope everyone has a great night. Let's absolutely crush it. And we'll be back again tomorrow on Thursday when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and PrizePicks. Thank you.